But that's really a great question, and I think a lot of people, wonder about it this time of year. Hey everybody, this is Carl White. I'm talking with my dear friend and cohort, Miss Krista Russo. Um, yeah, work life during the holiday season. We get that question a
Yes.
lot now, and there's kind of two sides of it, Krista, because you have those people that say, "Hey, a lot of loan officers are kind of sleeping at the wheel, so I think I'll, take advantage of this situation." And then there's
Yeah.
other people go, "Yeah, but I want to be with my family." And, you know, that's the challenge.
I think you can have both. I really do. And I have some tips that I wanted to talk about this morning, about how I think that it's helped me where I am 100% all in, still working. And I actually use the holidays to really focus on my relationships. So while people may be taking some time off, that's okay. I can still reach out to them and focus on the relationship building, wishing them a good holiday season with their family and loved ones, while still encouraging them, letting them know I'm still actively working and present for any of their referrals. So,
All right, but let me ask
one
you
of the,
this. So
go ahead.
so what about during, and I love these conversations, because the great thing about these conversations is we might end up being in a total agreement, and frankly we might be coming from different viewpoints, right? Not right or wrong, just different. So
Right.
so I'm curious about this. So what do you do about like Thanksgiving week? So Thanksgiving falls on a Thursday. I guess it always does by design. And so it's falling in on a Thursday. So on do you I'm assuming, right, you don't call on Thanksgiving, or you don't you know prospect on Thanksgiving Thursday. What about the day before? What about the day after? What about that weekend? And And then if you do, what if, and I know you and I, our kids are grown, but what if I've
Right.
got my kids are off this week, from Thanksgiving, they're off from school, per se, like they used to be, right? Am I still working? Am I enjoying that time off with them? If I have my mom or my dad or my brother or my aunt or my uncle is traveling to me, or maybe I'm traveling to them, do I find a room over at their house and work, or do I not? Like, it gets complicated.
It does, especially I think when you do have littler kids and you're needing to be at home with them and be present. I used to use a tip, and believe it or not, I my daughter's 20, and she does still live with me, so I have to still set very clear boundaries on when I'm working, and I personally will work up until Wednesday. And but when I'm working, I'm 100% working. So I set clear boundaries. I define what my working hours are and I stick to them. But then I communicate these boundaries with my clients. So one of the things that I really love is auto responses to emails. So for a loan officer, let's say they would have a auto response on every email that goes out that says, this is the process. So if you're looking for a pre-approval, send it here. I will respond to your email as quick as I can. However, I am checking it after hours, just not as frequently. So just setting expectations. And then also, I know plenty of people that use a call service, answering service, so that it never goes to voicemail. That is a wonderful opportunity and outlet as well. But one of the things that I hear, especially from women, just because I'm working on some things with just women in particular and trying to
Hmm.
manage that work-life balance, is how do I manage both? And I think there's seasons for that. So there's seasons when things are really busy and there's seasons when things are slower, and just being able to set whatever that boundary is for your life and be 100% on when you're working and 100% with family when you're not.
See, I think that solves almost all problems, and maybe all problems. And I agree with you that it's my belief that the ladies do have a little bit more of a challenge, right? And you can say that's right, and you can say it's wrong, but that's just my belief, right? That
Right.
I think you guys do have a little bit more of a challenge uh, because, and I get it, I'm a father, but Maria's a mother, and there's a difference, and there is a difference, right? I think there is a difference, and I think but sometimes it's reversed, right? So
Sometimes it is.
sometimes, yep, sometimes it's reversed. Like we know people, we know some very successful lady loan officers where their mate tends to be the more domesticated of the two, and they're the ones that's make sure there's dinner on the table and help clean up the house and take the kids back and forth, because the lady in lending, right,
Yes.
the female loan officer, right, the mother loan officer, the wife loan officer out earns their mate, and it makes perfect sense to do that, right? But whoever is, and in most families, one's predominantly the income earner, not always, but predominantly,
Yes.
and then the other is predominantly the homemaker, right? And even if they work, they're still kind of more in charge of, or they have more flexibility in taking the kids to the soccer practice, whether it's male or female. But historically, and you have to remember, I'm an old fart, so some of my thoughts might be a little old fashioned, right? But I am old fashioned, and so I think the ladies do have a little bit more of a challenge, not always, but often. And I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, when I'm at work, I work, and when I'm off, I'm off. And that is the balance, I believe. That when I'm at work, I
Yes.
got my war paint on and I'm focused on the activities that moves the needle the most, period. I don't play around on crossword puzzles. I'm not doing silly TikTok videos. I'm not doing these things that have a conversion rate of 1% or half a percent per hundred, right? I think that's not a good plan, right? It's fun, and I think it's okay to have fun, but if I want to have work life balance, when I'm at work, I got to be swinging the axe. And when I'm home, I'm not answering my phone when I'm with my little boys or my little girls, right? My kids, when I'm with my
Yes.
kids. And, and I really think that solves the problem, that if we make sure that we're at work, we got our war paint on and we're doing focused activities and we're not playing around with stuff that really doesn't work, but makes us feel busy or makes us feel important, but it doesn't actually close loans at any substantial level. Get away from that activity, focus when we're at work. Because, I always think, like, the work life balance thing, anybody says it's not possible is just hasn't figured it out for themselves. Like, I would tell
Right.
you, building a rocket ship that would leave the Earth is impossible. There's no such thing, only because I don't know how. But apparently, NASA and Elon and Jeff Bezos, they figured this stuff out. And
Right.
so there is a thing of work life balance. We just have to make sure that we're staying focused on work activity, and when we're at work, work, and when we're home, home, because the freedom of work life balance, like for me, I pretty much check out the month of December. Now, I still do,
Yeah.
I'm still doing the breakfast club, and I still do my alliance meetings, but like I don't do any speaking engagements. I really pretty much check out. But Krista, I've earned that, right? I've earned
Yes.
that. It's not free. I've earned it. I've earned it because January through November, I got my war paint on. I'm doing focused activity, and we're doing great things over here, right? And I really, really,
Yeah.
really do for focused work. And because of that, I've earned, in my case, to take Fridays off. I've earned the right to take Saturday and Sunday off. I've earned the right to take the weekends off. And in my case, I've earned the right to pretty much check out the month of December because I love this time of year. I love Thanksgiving. I love Christmas. I love what it stands for. I love the hot chocolate. I love the Christmas caroling. Like, I like it all.
I love the
And
lights. I love the Christmas lights. Yeah.
oh, and so this is specific. You and I, people may not know this. You and I actually, just by pure chance, by the way, live about literally a mile from each other, maybe
Yep.
two, right? So we're neighbors. Have you ever gone down that little neighborhood, Indian Trails?
Yes,
Um,
I went last year
so so
and
so
I so excited.
So Chris and I
I'm,
have this neighborhood that's not too far from where we live. For me, it's probably about a mile from you, or maybe three. And this whole neighborhood, and I wouldn't call it a wealthy neighborhood, but it's certainly upscale. But the entire neighborhood, and it's a big neighborhood, the entire neighborhood just goes all out on the Christmas lights, and
yes, it's
it,
like they all have their
a,
own little contest, yeah,
it is,
because
and
everybody
it's
participates.
impressive. I mean, it's really
Yeah,
impressive. And in fact, here starting not too much after Thanksgiving, there'll be a like a half an hour line to get into the neighborhood to drive the little loop. I mean, it's like waiting for Disney. And I think about the people, Kristen, we're a little off topic here, but I think about the people that live there. Oh my gosh. I mean, like in the evenings,
the traffic.
they can't go out. They can't go out in the
Yeah,
evenings because it take a half an hour to get back home. So
yeah,
anyway, but I'm a real firm believer in that there is a thing as work life balance. There is a thing of freedom in our business, but the freedom's not free. We have to earn that freedom by doing focused activity that actually moves the needles, that actually closes loans, that actually has a high conversion rate of say 20 to 25% lead per closing ratio is the things that we work on, and that when we do that, I I I think it really frees us up so that we can take the week of Thanksgiving off, and we can take the week of Christmas off, or in my case, pretty much the whole month.
yeah. Well, Carl,
So
so you one of the things, because I know people listening to this, they may say, well, how do they do that? Like, how do I earn that right? And it took me, I've always been very organized, very structured person. But I would be lying if I said I have always had a work-life balance.
oh,
I haven't. It has been over the last, I'm going to say 3 years, but really primarily the last two when I really dove into the mortgage marketing animals. And the game changer was hearing about time blocking. And I did always time block, but I allowed what other people wanted me to do
mm,
overtake what I should be doing and what moves the needle. So we
mm.
get pulled into, you know, the next big thing. And so then we take away from what we could be doing. And
Well, you know why why you struggle with that, Krista?
why? Because I'm a
Because
people pleaser.
yeah, you're no, you're a really nice person, right? You are. You have a servant's heart, right? And that's a good thing in my
Yeah,
world, because I have a servant's heart, and it's hard for us to say no to people because we're nice people and we like people and we want to help them, and so it is hard to say no, and so it's easy to get caught up into, well, here, let me help you with that, and let me help you with this. The problem is when we're helping them, and I'm using air quotes here, helping them with those things, that we're not doing the focus activity that brings in the business. And you and I are both in charge of bringing in new business. And
right.
if I'm in there, and I'm just going to bring up a name here, who certainly needs none of my help. But if I go in with Jamie and say, here, Jamie, let me help you with that because I like Jamie, right? And I want to help her, then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, which bringing in new business. And if I'm not bringing new business, Jamie's job is at risk, and I cannot let that happen because Jamie's all in. Like you're all in,
Right.
I'm all in, right? Hey there. Hey, if you're loving the tips so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button right down there and then tap the little bell so that you never miss out on more free, cool tips coming your way. Also, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment beneath there. Let me know what you think or tell me what you'd like to hear next. And so you and I have to focus, and most of the people that's listening to this call, we have to focus on bringing in the new business because our team is counting on it. I think the real problem with most loan officers is they don't know where the top originators get most of their leads. I think are the leads at close, which is the kind of leads that the top originators focus on. Most loan officers don't know where those come from. And we see all these ads, and we do ads, right? I get it. Like we
Right.
do ads,
Yeah.
everybody does ads, right? Um, but here's the facts. So where do most loan officers get their leads? That are no, wrong saying. Where do the top loan officers get their leads? There was actually a study that did this. And it said that 78% of the top loan officers get their leads from referral partners.
Yep.
78%. All right. 21.8%, right, get most of their get their leads, the top loan officers, 21.8 from their past database. So it was 78% referral partners, 21.8% past database. And if you do your math here, which I know is hard, some of you, you're walking, you're at the treadmill, you're at the grocery store, you're driving perhaps, but that leaves 0.2%. So 78% referral partners, 21.8% past database. This is the top loan officers. 0.2, 0.2 consumer direct. So consumer direct, what does that mean? That means like social media. That's typically that can be referral partner directed, right? Which is, I think, the right way to do it.
Right.
But those people that try to quote create their own leads off of social media, of the top producers, that's 0.2%. And so I think we have to
That's
focus
mind
on.
blowing, isn't
It is
it?
mind blowing.
Yeah,
It is
just
mind
because
blowing.
social media is thrown in our faces like it is the number one thing,
Well,
but
you know why?
tell me,
Here's
and
why. Here's why. So this is like we're just kind of pulling the curtain back here, and I mean no offense to anybody, but I'll risk our relationship to tell you the truth, right? That's just the way I roll. So the reason why is loan officers will walk 20 miles dragging a sled with no wheels on it, not to have to make phone call prospecting.
yes,
And
yes, it's
so
that
they're
creative avoidance.
a
It's
100%
because it's uncomfortable.
because it's uncomfortable, which is why it pays so well. So that's why
Yeah.
sitting in the TV watching Oprah, which happens to be one of my favorite things to do, right? I think I've made no bones about it that I'm a huge Oprah fan. So sitting in front of the TV watching Oprah is a very attractive thing, at least for me to do. But come to find out, it doesn't close me any loans. And so that's comfortable. That's easy. That unfortunately, comes natural to me to want to do that
Right.
for whatever reason, right? I just admire her so much for what she's accomplished, coming from where she came from. I love small town girl makes good, small town boy makes good type of thing. Like
I love that stuff
I'm
too.
a Muhammad Ali fan, just like these people that come from, rags to riches kind of thing. And there's any number of those stories. But I think it's that loan officers will creative avoidance, and they'll do all this extra stuff, which takes all this extra time, which has them working evenings and weekends and after hours and Thanksgiving week and Christmas week, where if they just focus on what the top producers focus, 78% referral partners, 21.8% past database, that really solves all the problems. And then, well, it does introduce a new set of problems. And the new set of problems is, gee, I'm in a new tax bracket now. I had no idea how much taxes the wealthy actually pay. We hear this thing about
Right,
their fair
right.
share. What they don't know is that 51% of Americans pay zero federal income tax, and 49% pay 80% of federal income tax. Or no, 49% pay all the federal income tax because 51% don't. I'm getting off on a tangent there. I have
No,
no
no, it's
business going down.
no, it's good stuff. No, it's good stuff because I think that it does relate to the fact of what we were initially talking about is how do we have that, how do we maneuver through the holidays and still enjoy time with our family. And it goes back to doing the activity that's going to move the needle, time blocking. And don't be afraid of, and I just am going to blatantly say it, don't be afraid of sucking at something. That is, you can't make a scrambled egg without cracking an egg. You are going to mess things up. That's the power of it. And
Mm-hmm.
I have learned that, you're one of my mentors. Steve Kiles has been one of my mentors. I'm just filled with a lot of great leaders. I'm super blessed. It was diving into the marketing animals and listening and focusing on my mindset and being okay with not being perfect. That is a false sense of reality. It doesn't happen. Um, there are going to be times that you're doing your calendar and let's say you realize okay, something happened with a kid and you have to go pick up and your schedule's all wonky and that's okay. Those are things that just happen in life. It's just focus when you really are on your calendar to really be on your calendar and work, and then really focus at home. And Carl, you have said a story that touched my heart. And I don't know how many people that are listening to this have heard this, but it was you asking your daughter one
Mm-hmm.
day to take a ride with you. And that's something that you like to do. You like cars. You were just like, this is innocent. I'm asking my daughter to take a ride with me. And she said, "Why, Dad? Do you have to make phone calls?" And that changed your life. And it's so important to be present because those moments, before you know it, my daughter's 26 and almost 21, and they go by and we are so influential in this time of their life. We do need to be present for the holidays and their time off school, and there's no shame in that. But in order to do that, when we're at work, we have to focus on the things that aren't comfortable and it's a hard thing to do, but you can do it. And I wish that more people knew it's not as bad as it sounds. It's just it really isn't. Like you may make mistakes and Steve Kyles had said one day, he was like, I was on a call and I literally was like, I have no idea why I just said that. And he laughed and it makes us human. People love that. And being authentic and playing off your strengths because you're not going to memorize every script. You're not going to have everything figured out, but be willing to suck at it to get good at it. I know that back in the day, you were not able to take December off. I know that.
Oh,
And
for
it
sure.
took things happening for you to get to this place in your life. Or Christmas is coming and what's important to you. Plan your schedule accordingly. I
Yeah,
went off on a tangent there.
no, but I think you totally nailed it. You know that and I hope this is okay to say this, but I think it's important to know that when we have family and we're working all the time and we're on the phone or got our laptop, when our kids are around, our mate is around, our friends are around, we don't know the damage we're causing until later in life. And yeah, there's no do-overs here, right? And I
Yeah.
always think of it, Kristen, that like when I do something and come to find out it wasn't the right way to do something, even with the best intentions, right? That it's kind of like taking a nail out of the board. I can ask for forgiveness, but when I take the nail out of the board, there's still a hole there, and
Yeah.
that hole will always be there. And yeah, I don't have many regrets, but I too worked a lot when my kids were very young. And that story that you shared about my daughter and me just wanting to go to on a ride with her just because I felt like going on a Saturday morning ride in a car, a little car ride, just with me and her, a little daughter daddy time, and her thinking I wanted to do it because I needed to make some phone calls, and she wasn't saying it snarkily. It was just,
No,
oh
no, it
yeah,
was completely
oh
innocent.
yeah, it was just like, oh, this is what we do. Daddy gets in the car, daddy's on the phone, right? And yeah, the day she did that was the last day I was on a business call. Anytime my family is in the car with me, and
Yeah.
so I'm grateful that that happened. I don't remember how old she was, 8, 9, 10, something like that. And I'm grateful it happened when it happened. So I think our bottom line here is you can have work life balance. You can take time off during the holidays, uh, but it's earned, and we need to start working on it. Not just for this year, but for next year. We really need to be working on it, and it's just you know putting together a business plan that actually works, that actually gets results on a 32 to 40-hour work week. I've seen people do less, right? And as long as we're focused on the right things, doing the right activity, and follow the plan out of discipline, not motivation, because motivation wanes. So if we follow it out of discipline, which is the reason why you put together a business plan, I think I think it's my firm belief that you can have that time off at the holidays. And man, I tell you, you know, the amount of fond memories I have by taking December off for a long time now is very dear. I have very fond memories of friends and family and some of the trips we've taken, some of the things that we've seen, the experiences that we've had together. I remember every single one of them. And the holidays that I worked, I have no recollection of anything. I don't know what I did. And the extra money that I made or the money I made, I have no idea what I spent it on. It was not good, right? It was not good. So, but I think we have to forgive ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
From the things like when we figure something out, we go, all right, man, I really screwed that up, but I have to forgive myself and then start a new set of behaviors going forward. And I get to a wonderful thing about life is I get to leave the past in the past, and I only bring forward those parts that I want to, and I forgive
Right.
myself, which is probably the most important thing to do, and then do it the way that I want to do it, where I'm in control, um, and getting epic results. So great topic today, by the way. I love this topic that you picked out. Great topic.
Yeah, it is really good. I do want to leave with a couple of things though, if you
Tell
don't
me.
mind.
Tell me.
So one of the things that I started doing a couple months back is reflection on my day. So it really at the end of the day, I look and see how how effective was my day and what can I do different tomorrow. And I really did that because I really want to understand that I am not busy, I'm effective. And every
Mm,
activity that I did was effective in one way or the other. The other thing that I would really encourage anybody that's not already a part of it is get a part of a community.
mm,
It is so important to have people around you that are like-minded, encouraging you, doing the same things. One of the things that the Marketing Animals does, not only is it a phenomenal community and the classes and the content, but they do call stars. And when you're uncomfortable and you don't know what to do, it is so powerful being in that atmosphere on those calls and not doing it alone, not feeling alone. So I encourage anybody that is looking for that or needing that to just reach out to learn more. I We're not meant to do this alone. And every single
mm,
person listening to this, they deserve to have December off. They deserve the success and they can do it. And
mm,
I just leave that with everyone because we believe in you.
mm.
You've got this.
Well, let's see. So if you when you're ready for some help to map all this stuff out and like, hey, what does real prospecting look like for just 2 hours a day? It'll change your life. Just 2 hours a day. And by the way, when I say 2 hours a day, it's Monday through Thursday. It's not Sunday. It's not Saturday, and it's not Christmas Eve and Thanksgiving Eve, right? But like just that focused 2 hours of activity, would love to map that out for you. Just go to getmoreloans.com, getmoreloans.com. And we should have made it getmoreloansinlesstime.com, but that's not it, right? But
Now we got to
getmoreloans.com
go snag that up.
or have more coolness in your life.com, right? Kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But getmoreloans.com. Go check that out. And would love to walk you through it. There's no charge for this. Obviously, we're looking for people to join our membership, right? We don't hide behind that. We're proud of that. But that's not what this call is about. This call is about actually mapping out a plan for you, and for you to look at and go, man, that's a great plan. I think I can do that alone by myself. Awesome. You got the plan. Go do it. Or if you want some help, well, we can certainly talk about that too. But the call is free and the plan is free. And I recommend that you be in front of a computer when you do it. That way you can do some screen. We'll be doing some screen sharing perhaps and showing some scripts and some processes you might want to do some screenshots on. And you're welcome to do that. So getmoreloans.com. Thank you, Krista. I appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you. You too. Happy holidays, everyone.